Well, thank you so much for having me here today. Some of you might remember me from our previous event in May 2024. There, I talked a little bit about my story and how I found persistence to be the tool to fight against what people thought was my predetermined future, and how I ended up following my dream career. I am Mara Moreta. I am a PEO fellow and sister since 2021. Early on in my career, I felt passionate about understanding patterns in nature and using math to disentangle natural cycles. That is why I became a wildlife ecologist. Growing up in Ecuador, a country recognized for its mega biodiversity, with more species per square meter than any other country on Earth, made me feel an intimate connection with my land and a deep desire to protect what we have left. But I did not get here all by myself. I am the result of a long lineage of hardworking women who fought tirelessly for our rights to speak up. These women, especially in indigenous communities, have served as guardians of nature for generations, passing down the wisdom of living in harmony with our land. Their stories are my stories, and I am proud to continue their legacy of fighting for women's voices. I want to take you all on a journey into the life of Indigenous women of South America. These women are more than just community leaders. They are the protectors of our forests, rivers, and mountains. They understand that nature is not a resource to be exploited, but a living, breathing entity to be respected. Their knowledge of our land, passed down through oral traditions, is an invaluable treasure that we must safeguard. However, this battle of Indigenous women to protect these lands is often unseen. Although we come from a peaceful land, this land is currently bathed in the blood of activists who fight endlessly to protect our land from abuses. We are here to protect what is left, and we're not going to back down or be humiliated. Today, I am here to remind you that we're all fighting for the same objective: protecting the things that matter most: our land, our heritage, and the need for a sustainable future. Throughout history, men in power have used women's connection with nature to subjugate them, rather than recognize the importance of environmental stewardship and care. Women were gatherers, herbalists, and planters, and these activities became associated with women. They became devalued by society. It is time to reinforce the immense value of these endeavors and stress the important role women have played in protecting and caring for the environment. I am Mar. I am not an Indigenous woman, but my ancestors are. Like my ancestors, all Ecuadorian women have been fighters since the time of colonization, in constant confrontation over the invasion of our territory. They continue fighting for the preservation of their traditions, as well as their dedication to nurture, love, and care. For the Indigenous women of Ecuador, the earth is not separated from their being. It is part of their identity. This connection to nature is reflected in their daily lives, whether it's through sustainable agricultural practices, traditional herbal medicine, or rituals of gratitude to the land. And while you may think this fight isn't yours, I am here to remind you that this precise moment is currently freeing women from all over the world. Me standing here today in front of you is freeing women from all over the world. You waking up and deciding to do what makes you happy is freeing women from all over the world. If it wasn't for PEO, I would not be standing today in front of you here and accomplishing my dreams. We are a chain of opportunities. Education freed me and saved my life. It freed my mom and all women around me. I want you to take a moment to feel this. I am lucky to come from a country where more women pursue higher education than men. However, they are also more likely to not finish their careers because of familial obligations or simply because their family do not let them continue. Today, feel the collective female empowerment in this room as a phenomenon that goes beyond individual possession, rising from the collaboration of women united for the defense of our rights. In today's world, where climate change threatens our ecosystems, the role of Indigenous women has become even more crucial. Their fight to protect the Amazon from deforestation is not just a fight for their communities, but for all of us who rely on the earth lungs to breathe. They are the frontline defenders, and their resilience inspires me to reflect on my responsibilities towards the planet. For example, Nemonte Lenkimo. Nemonte is a mom, an activist, and a published author. She's an Ecuadorian woman from the Waorani indigenous community who is currently fighting against the destruction of the Amazonian forest, telling her story through a book she wrote full of magic, but also a very hard reality. The neo-colonization triggered by oil extraction companies in the middle of the Amazonian forest is an issue that directly affects local communities, disrupting their everyday lives, traditions, and social constructions, contaminating our water, and even transmitting infectious diseases to vulnerable communities. Nemonte is an example of strength and persistence. Nemonte is my example of persistence. As we acknowledge their efforts, let us remember that their struggle is our struggle. Protecting the earth is not just an act of charity, it's a responsibility. The lessons from the indigenous women of South America and around the world remind us that we're not separate from nature, but we're an integral part of it. Let us walk alongside them in this journey, not as saviors, sisters committed to a better future. When we are protecting our land, we protect our future. And when we empower women and recognize their fight, we women sitting here today, we ensure that the voices of the past, our moms, our grandmothers, our nieces, our aunts and sisters, can guide us into a more promising tomorrow.